he thinks the former White House chief medical advisor, medical killing machine advisor, attorney Anthony Fauci deserves to be in jail. What we see here with Ron Paul, Republican of Kentucky, said that he thinks the former White House chief medical advisor, Henry Fauci Weasel, deserves to be in jail. And do you believe that Henry Fauci Weasel belongs in jail? Fox News host Sean Hannity asked Paul, without a question. Ron Paul said, without a question. You know what I'm saying? The senator responds. Paul has a furious history with Bonaparte Keelan Weezer, brimming from the disagreement around the origin of the COVID pandemic and the vaccination. He has also argued that the former, nutcase, the infectious disease doctor, the former mad scientist Igor particularly the disease doctor lied to Congress by flip-flopping on where the COVID virus began in public and in private. Okay? And this is somebody you trust in that position that you call infectious disease and all this different stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we can clearly see by him flip flopping on such a serious matter that led to the deaths of many people proves without a shadow of a doubt that he do not belong in that position, first of all. And second of all, he needs to be truly criminally investigated with no excuse to say he do not know and do not know and do not. And flip flop in the information that is truly scientifically proven and investigation has been done. You know what I'm saying? We know we now have proof in Anthony Fauci's own words, he has emailed Paul said in an interview with Hannity. In public, he said, "Oh, if you say it came from a lab, you're a conspiracy theorist." Yeah, right. In his fucking brain, and before fighting to kill weasel. Yeah, right. By the way, you're a conspiracy. You're crazy. It's a friend's theory. He continued, but in private, he said, we're very concerned about the virus appears to be, seen manipulated. And we're also very concerned because we know they're doing gain of function research in Wuhan. Wow. Okay. He said that that is why he he refers him to he refers him to Attorney General Mark Garland, who Paul refers to as the most partisan Attorney General in history. He accused General of bucking his responsibility in order to protect Punk Party, the killing weeds. The but received Hong Party responds to the call in March for his prosecution for the handling of the COVID-19 outbreak, saying there's no response to that craziness. I am, prosecute. Prosecute me for what? Oh, of course not. Nothing at all. He's so innocent as a demon. Recyclological reprogram, you know, individual to where he could say, for what? What did I do? You know, but we know. And we must always keep check on these type of people. But he said, what are you going to prosecute me for? What are they talking about? I mean, I wish I could figure out what the heck they are talking about. I think they're just going to they're just going off the deep end, Archie said. Of course, if uh, they're going off the deep end, it doesn't make any sense to say something like that, and actually, it's irresponsible. So you see the psychology in that? Paul outlined his belief in his upcoming book, Deception, the Great COVID Cover Up, which is expected to be released next week. When talking to Sean Hannity, the senator teased that more action could come against Bonfaci. We deserve to know what happened, he said. Yeah, what? More reason than one, sure he do. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Of course. More investigation needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? We see Mexican president, you know what I'm saying? Andres Manuel Lopez Alvarado, or whatever his name is, say U.S. does not want to build a new section of the border wall. It's pure, uh, 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 I guess it's public, publicly. It's pure public. You know what I mean? As we see here. Well, Mr. Alvarado coming in off the record one day ago, New York Post, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He's saying this what publicly or whatever the Mexicans during hold on. We see here we're Mexico City, October. You know what I'm saying? The U.S. government does not want to build a new section of the wall on its border with Mexico. And Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Alvarado, you know what I'm saying, said on Friday, expressing doubt that he planned construction. He planned the construction. No, he planned. So he planned. What are you saying? He expressed doubt that the planned construction would be carried out. Yeah, imagine that. He says pure publicly. You know what I'm saying? Political or public or whatever. Lopez Alvarado said a regular morning press conference after the Joe Biden administration announced it would build additional section of the border, wall carrying forward a signature policy of the Trump administration. Okay, well, imagine that a high-ranking delegation of the U.S. official met Thursday with their Mexican counterpart among the U.S. the U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. They don't want to build more section of the wall. That's what they told us, U.S. I guess he told Mr. Lopez Alvarado. You know what I'm saying? But we see what the president, Joe Biden, said on Thursday that he funds that the funds located for the construction were appropriated by Congress, you know what I'm saying, and that he could not, by law, redirect the money. Mm, okay. Joe Biden, when he took office in 2021, pledged that no more American taxpayers' dollars would be spent on any of this. You know what I'm saying? But what did we see? That's not what we saw. We saw American taxpayer dollars being spent on every dime of it. Let's just be honest. You know what I mean? And this is what we see. So where we see that situation going on, that's what it is. You know what I mean? So people have to start looking at this thing from a brighter perspective because what they're saying ain't gonna happen and is happening is what exactly is happening. You know what I mean? In more ways than one. You know what I mean? Because he's saying even here that, saying he had pledged by Joe Biden in 2021 pledged that no more American taxpayer dollars, you know, be diverted to the construction of the border wall. Now, why would Joe Biden say that on the campaign trail and then turn around and tell all the people, come to America if you're escaping coyotes and like didn't make much sense. The Mexican president added that in the meeting the day before, the Mexican delegation expressed that Mexico does not believe additional border wall construction to be the answer to the migrant problem. We've always spoke about um, tending to the root causes. Lopez said, right, well, that's the main thing. You should be tending to the root cause in all ways. The root causes is something that can settle the situation altogether and not just bring about, massive destruction and all kinds of foolishness, which tends to seem to be the norm these days in all ways. You know what I mean? Seems to be the norm all the time. So at the same time, this is what we see. You know what I mean? In all ways. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we also see more foolishness as well. You know what I mean? Yup. Like that. But at the same time, we see other shit going on in itself. You know what I mean? Even when we look at the fact of what they were saying about the red Caesarism, you know what I'm saying? The red Caesarism is the right wing code, and some Republicans are listing, and that was coming in like some Jason dude. You know what I'm saying? But we see the argument for the red Caesar to rule the U.S. may seem, what I'm saying, exerted, but I guess he's saying on June, the right wing academic Kevin Slack published a book, lent, you know what I'm saying, polemic or whatever, polemic or whatever, claiming that ideas that had emerged from what he called a radical left were now so dominant that the U.S. Republic is the U.S. Republic, its founder, the founder. I guess he's saying the Republican founder envisions were effectively at the end. You know what I'm saying? Well, when you really look at that, that's what it is. I mean, it has been driven to whatever ideology they may have had. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that it's the same. And then it wasn't under the best conditions of invasion as well. You know what I mean? The slack politic professor, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? At the conservative Hillside College in Michigan made conspiratorial and extreme argument now common on the anti-demon democratical right. You know what I'm saying? That transgender, anti-white racism, censorship, cronyism are now are now the policies of an entire composite. I guess he's saying cosmopolitan is now the entire cosmopolitan class. You know what I'm saying? That includes a much of, you know what I'm saying, entrenched bureaucracy, the military, the media, and government sponsored corporations. You know what I'm saying? In discussion of possible response to this conspiracy theory, he wrote that the new right now often discuss the red Caesar, by which it means the leader who imposed constitutional rules would restore the strength of the people. You know what I'm saying? For the last 3 years, part of American right have advocated that theory called Caesarism as, you know what I'm saying, and, you know what I'm saying, totalitarian, or whatever, totalitarian solution to claim collapse of the U.S. Republic in conference rooms. You know what I'm saying? Podcasts and house organs of extreme right, especially those associated with the Claremont Institution think tank. But that's good for them. You know what I mean? But at the same time, the American people have to do their own thinking. Still come out to the same thing. But we see Hoxel and Adams, Aide, finally speaks to the truth about the border. It's coming off the Post editorial 13 hours ago. You know what I'm saying? Well, what to do? What do you do? What do you know? Mayor Eric Q. Greasy Adams, chief advisor, you know what I'm saying? Ingrid, I think is Ingrid Lewis Martin just spoke out loud what her boss has only hinted about. You know what I'm saying? He has only hinted about, but almost every other same person he has known, People Joe Biden in Congress, he said, needs to close the border. We need the federal government, the Congress members and Senate, and President to do its job. Close the border. Demanded Lewis Martin, and gets this, Governor Hoxsell too said the border is too open right now. Oh yeah, imagine that. We really believe you. hmm Sure, it's about, you know what I'm saying, it's about time for plain, honest language. Why didn't you say so before? It's the question we're asking. You know what I'm saying? Yet, Deputy Mayor, you know what I'm saying, for communications, you know what I'm saying, Reverend BB quickly tried to walk back Lewis Martin true teller. Lewis Martin's true teller tweeting a well a blanchment made blanch a blanchments bench made or whatever of a statement. Who gives a flying fuck what your statement name is? That the city, you know what I'm saying, hall, believes that the country should continue to welcome migrants but employ decompositions, decompressions, you know what I'm saying, strategy to despise them or some shit he talking about. But Levy Martin likely reflects Adams' own private thinking, even if he lacks the backbone to be as blunt as his aide Hassel, since the comment filed in the face of some of his fellow Democrats. Yeah, and you just playing around the Mulberry Bush. Really? Because this is no more than seem like the same old bullshit. You know what I mean? The same old bullshit. We see Joe Biden goes for the juggler, attacking mega insanity could be the warning message for the 2024. This is coming in by Heather uh, Digby Harton or something like that 23 hours ago Eastern Standard Time, coming off the salute from Heather Digby Harton. Well, we see the creep Joe Biden gave a speech last week, you know what I'm saying, when largely it went largely unnoticed in the press, and it's really too bad. It may have been the best speech he ever, the best lie that he ever told. You know what I'm saying? The best that he ever gave. And if people actually saw or heard it, it might set their mind at ease a little about the prospect in the next election. He never been, I'm saying, much of a speaker. But when he talked about the threats to democracy, democracy, he, you know, what I'm saying, has been excellent, of course, because that's the speech, the sweet sing and dance speech they always going to give you. Always give that sing and dance about democracy. You know what I'm saying? Anything could bring forth the light based on the fact that they're telling you, you know, what to believe. You know what I'm saying? What to believe. One can't do that. It's highly important that you understand you must make your own decisions. You know what I'm saying? In all ways. So we see where, you know what I'm saying, easier it comes to a point where, you know what I'm saying, to ease a little about the prospect of the next election. He never been much more of a speaker on that as we see. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he can speak as best as he wants, but to me the speech ain't worth the dime that it's written on. You know what I'm saying? We see, because it's just a sing and dance of a sweet speech to psychologically reverse your mind back into them, which is a spell. But we see GOP lawmakers accidentally credit, you know, accidentally create hilarious new nickname for Trump. You know what I'm saying? But we see Republican lawmakers, eventually created a hilarious new nickname for Donald J. Trump by making a verbal slip with speaking on the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Representative Andy August, or whatever his name is, made a boo boo while addressing the House of Representatives, saying on April, under the leadership of the President Trump. Trump, yeah, that wasn't a slip. That was true. But I tell you what, he damn sure ain't no Trump. You know what I'm saying? He damn say the Trump, but he damn says Trump. Be there, baby. Because the only Trump we see is many of those of you who are in the Republican Party that is on the take and licking balls rather than standing up and being a Republican and showing us your true light. You up here making jokes as the world fall into your Luciferian, Baphometical, chaotic, buck wild uptown, anything goes in the world that you want to live in. You know what I'm saying? You're very funny. But harmful bacteria in upstate New York drinking water. This is something we're beginning to see and have been seeing for quite a while. And something seriously needs to be done. You know what I'm saying? Stop putting stool in the drinking water. But we see false claim emergency alert will, you know, activate chemicals in billions of people, you know what I'm saying, fact check. We see a claim of emergency broadcast system tested will activate some kind of graph or the particular information. Well, how are the people gonna know that? Whether they make the joke or not, what's so personal about it? And why you got the false claim it? Because you know what I'm saying, well you should, but at the same time, if we don't really know, do we? Okay. So what sense is going through all of that? You know what I'm saying? We see Nancy Pelosi Dunphy saying Matt Gates is only good for two things. Uh, well, the fact of the matter is, you're only good for one, and that sure isn't governing our country in its rightful ways. That's the one you're not good for. You know what I'm saying? As no House Speaker. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we see the demon Democrats receive very bad news coming in by Eric Hernandez, not Newsbreak contributor, as we see 11 hours ago Eastern Standard Time, as we see.